Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a part of the economy that, honestly, is a massive job creator, but somehow gets overlooked in all the serious workforce conversations. Yeah, we're talking about the licensed beauty industry, and it might just be the workforce infrastructure hiding in plain sight.
So let's just start with a question to kind of get our heads in the right space. When you hear the words beauty school, what pops into your mind? For a lot of us, it's about a personal interest, right? A creative hobby. But what if that's completely the wrong way to look at it?
You know, this source material we're breaking down today puts it so plainly. The whole argument here isn't about getting special favors or a handout. It's about asking policymakers to to acknowledge the economic engine that's already up and running.
Okay, so our first big step is to completely reframe this whole conversation. We're moving way beyond the idea of beauty as just a hobby. Instead, we're going to talk about stable careers, thriving local economies, and a really powerful workforce pipeline that's already in place.
And let's be super clear about this. These are not informal skills. We're talking about professions that are licensed by the state, with really rigorous standards, all focused on public health and safety. So when someone graduates from a licensed program, they are job ready on day one.
So, if these are real, in-demand, licensed careers, how well do they actually line up with our national workforce goals? Well, as it turns out, the answer is perfectly.
This chart just lays out the entire argument visually, and it's really worth a second to see all the connections. Up at the top, you can see how beauty education lines up with the U.S. workforce pipeline. We're talking things like employer-connected learning and credentials the industry actually recognizes. And then if you look down at the bottom, it highlights the direct impact on local economies, supporting women and immigrant-owned businesses and creating a stable tax base. It shows a system that is already working.
And the alignment with what the feds want, it's just striking. Let's look at the checklist for the Department of Labor's Employment and Training Administration. Short-term outcome-based training? Check. Employer-connected learning? Yep, check. A pathway for women, immigrants, and displaced workers? Check, check, and check. The beauty industry literally hits every single mark.
All right, let's just compare this to a lot of other training programs out there. On the left, you've got programs that can leave people with a ton of debt and really fuzzy job prospects. But then on the right, licensed beauty education offers a direct, regulated path to a state license, to documented skills, and to immediate opportunities for a job or even opening your own small business. The outcome isn't a maybe, it's clear and reliable.
Now, this all sounds great in theory, but does it actually work in practice? The answer is a huge yes. The model for plugging beauty into our national apprenticeship system, it already exists, and you know what? It's already working.
I want you to meet the Atarashi Apprentice Program. It's a federally approved registered apprenticeship, which is a big deal. It means it meets these really tough national standards for structured, paid, on-the-job training. And it proves this model works across the board, from cosmetology to barbering. And it produces fully compliant licensed professionals.
And this is the key question, isn't it? If a federally approved model is already out there and successful, it proves the policy door is already open. So why isn't this happening at scale all over the country? What's the missing piece of the puzzle?
Well, the answer lies in a really detailed blueprint for how to scale this model up. It comes from the Kentucky Beauty Apprenticeship Consortium, and it basically provides a roadmap for any state in the country to follow. So the whole model is built on a four-part partnership. It's pretty smart. First, you've got the government workforce agencies that officially recognize the sector. Then you have a training partner, like the Louisville Beauty Academy, delivering the state-approved classes. Then local salons provide that all-important paid on-the-job training. And finally, you have a business convener, like the New American Business Association, that brings all the employers together.
So you can see the two key non-government players right here. NABA is handling the high-level stuff, the advocacy, engaging with policy folks, really making the case to the government. Meanwhile, the Louisville Beauty Academy is on the ground, proving the model works day in and day out by delivering that state-licensed, totally compliant education. One advocates, the other demonstrates. It's a perfect combo.
So who does a model like this actually serve? I mean, who is it for? It's really designed for people who need a fast, reliable, and affordable path to a stable career. We're talking about immigrants, parents who need flexible hours, career changers who just can't afford to take on a mountain of student debt. By offering paid learning and local jobs, this model solves real-world problems for a huge slice of our population.
Okay, so if this model works, and we know who it helps, what's next? This brings us to the real takeaway, a clear, actionable plan. This isn't just some interesting idea.
The source material provides an actual 4-point plan for policymakers to turn this reality into official policy.
And here it is, 4 simple steps. Number 1, officially recognize licensed beauty professions as an eligible sector for apprenticeships. 2, include beauty in state grants to help expand these programs. 3, support the partnership model where schools act as these training hubs. And 4, work with business groups to get more salons on board. It's a ready-made roadmap.
You know, when you put all these pieces together, the conclusion is it's undeniable. The thousands of salons and barbershops on main streets all across America, they aren't just small businesses. They are a foundational piece of our workforce infrastructure.
And that kind of leaves us with this final thought. All the evidence shows that the beauty industry is a perfect fit for our nation's workforce goals. The model is proven, the plan is clear. So the only question left is, how long will it take for policy to finally catch up with the reality that's already thriving on the ground?